to BSLIVE. In this episode, I want to show you how you can create an animated Synthography dance performance using avatar that's based on your text prompt or maybe something that you train yourself. So I'll be using Stable Diffusions and an app called Drawthings app. So Drawthings app is available on iPhone, iPad, and Mac OS. So currently I'm using Mac Mini M2. So we can create something like this quite easily. So you can see every frame is kind of almost consistent with the character, but I think we need to either train it with our own character, or if we use like some kind of less percentage to match the original video. But basically any video, I think a character that's dancing, you can easily turn it into this kind of Synthography art, or sometimes some people call it AI art, but it's almost like a filter that you use in TikTok or Instagram if you are doing a dance. But let me show you the whole process so it's so we understand. So first of all, we need some kind of image as a source, and for that I will be using this dance Mutsuki. So dance performance. Her name is Mutsuki Dance Travelist. So this was performance on at Pitt Street Mall. I think this one is pretty cool to try. Doing a moonwalk. So let's try this. Maybe it could work, but this video is quite large, so I want to first reduce this into the size that Stable Diffusion will like. Sometimes 512 by 512, sometimes 512 by 768, whatever the size. You need to make it smaller, so I will be using Blender for that. New video editing. 512 by 768. Okay, 512 768. So this is the size of the video. Okay, so I use this video editing, VSE, video sequence editor in Blender. So that's usually so all we need to do is in here, Shift A, import a movie, downloads. I need to tidy this up. Okay, this one, actually the first one is kind of nice too. Let's try it. Okay, see, it's actually rotated. The color seems to be different from the original. Maybe it's because it's SDR. Anyway, select here R, rotate 90 degrees. I will scale it just to fit the frame. And file, save as Mutsuki. And what I just wanted to render this out very quickly. So render this desktop Mutsuki 1, accept. So how long is this video? We don't need to render all of them, just up to here. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. 230. Render animations, color management. Oh yeah, I forgot. The output should actually be a PNG. And render again. So desktop. So we have PNG. So this can be a good reference for our Synthography art. So we're gonna infuse our Stable Diffusion model into this persona, into Mutsuki dance performance. Okay, so I will drag this into my pictures. So the way sorry. Let's do this properly. so many folders. Okay, this Mutsuki blend, we can close this for now. Okay, done. Okay. We need, first of all, we need two folder, input EMG and output IMG. Okay, this one the old one, this is also the old one. Now they're both empty. For the input, we're gonna put the source. Let's copy that. 230 frames. And this is Draw Things app. So all the options is actually being shown here. All the setup ready to go. I will explain in a bit. The preset that I'll be using is this sequence render JavaScript. This one is from Discord. I forgot who created this, but it's JavaScript that's basically take input image sequence and then just do a batch in Infusion of Stable Diffusion. Let's see how it goes, whether this actually works at all. So I just did a sequence render, run it from presets, and it should do the job. So you can do the same thing using many different methods. You can use Comfy UI or Stable Diffusion Web UI from Automatic 1111. This one in particular, so I didn't actually prompt anything here, but it's already doing something. So we don't really need the prompt sometimes. It's just try to do like its own infusion. So let's take a look. It's kind of interesting anyway. So it takes every frame. It's gonna load every frames and then infuse this AI Synthography, whatever you want to call it, turn it into different image, right? Depending on the text prompt here. So we're gonna try to adjust this a little bit later. Let me explain. The model I'm using is Disney Pixar Cartoon Type B. There's lots of other models that we can use. If I stop this for now, so it's gonna stop generating. Let me try using something else, realistic, maybe Dream Shaper, and then maybe this character is a dancing android robot cyberpunk background, cyberpunk, urban, city, abandoned. As for the preset, I mean, we can use just click here and then cinematic default, and then once again we run sequence render. I'll try to explain. So the reason I'm doing this again, it's because we can do it a lot faster now. 10 seconds every frame being generated. You can actually do it faster, like almost like 1 second, one frame being rendered. Because of this LoRa. So Stable Diffusion has many flavor now, but this LCM latent consistency model, LCM, that can work as LoRa for Stable Diffusion, can make everything a lot faster. With with lower sampling, it's gonna generate something like very, very quickly. So that's why I want to try this again and show it to you using this performance by Mutsuki as an example. Later on I will show you, if you want to use your own dance, you can do that as well. Don't be dance shy. Dance to whatever music and whatever mood you feel that time. You can actually dance whatever, don't worry. You can dance alone in the room and record yourself and turn it into AI art or some kind of performance, right? Because we are entering era of like avatar performance. In the future, maybe this can be easier. You can just motion capture yourself. But let's see how it goes. If I stop this, so now we are getting some result, right? Okay, cool. Maybe make daytime. Maybe Japan, Shinjuku. We can write whatever with the prompt, but anyway, anyhow, what's the matter is actually the model. We have multiple flavor, like I said. Currently, I'm using LCM Stable Diffusion 1.5, which is the older model, but I have a lot of models dealing with that. But for what we are doing, you either using Stable Diffusion 1.5 or SDXL or SSD 1B. We might try that in a bit, if I don't forget. The control net, I'm using Canny Edge Map Pose set to 100%. You can randomize the seed. This is the size we are generating. The step is 4. You can increase this 4 to 8. Text guidance. Okay, let's try. Increase that. Clip skip 2 or 3. High resolution fix turn on. If it's off, it's faster. Okay, and the batch is set to 1 in this number, and you can change this. Okay, for now, I will try something more interesting, which is my favorite, is the old fish model, and just generate it again. If you are using SDXL model or SSD1B model, you're gonna get something that's more realistic. But I like the older model because you can have control net with it, control net, pose, canny edge. I haven't tried the depth mode, using the depth of the video or generated using AI. You can get something that's a little bit more consistent in a way. Let's see how this one goes. So it's creating something, right? So it's not perfect. I think this one is Mutsuki, because Mutsuki is wearing a mask. The body is captured, but the mask is covering the face. Normally, if you have face, the character, you can see the face here. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. It can be more consistent if you start playing with this strength. So if I stop this again, let me reduce this to around 50% and run this again. Sequence render. While it's rendering, okay, this is the result so far. The cyberpunk one looks really cool. I think this model, Dream Shaper model, it's just amazing. So you will see the motion is captured. It's the art of synthography. There's a lot of some kind of flickering. Maybe you don't want that. You can actually train a LoRA, maybe using 20 to 40 photos of you in a costume, and then you train it into a LoRA, and then you use it here with the Stable Diffusion. Maybe I need to play around with the weighting of the LoRA as well. Okay, now it's actually a lot faster. I don't know why it suddenly. Yeah, suddenly it's applying something. Yeah, something happens and we get a different result completely. But this is the one kind of closer to TikTok filter, because it's almost real time. In the future, we're gonna have this in real time anyway. Probably you don't need to do all this crazy stuff. Anyhow, while it's rendering, maybe at some point we're gonna try again. Maybe bring it into Blender. I want to show you. There's also something called MoveOne. MoveOne. Okay, not this one. Let me try to find the right one. MoveOne AI. So MoveOne AI app. Single camera motion capture. You can use single camera or multiple camera. It's available on the iPhone at the moment, Android coming soon. But anyhow, the idea is you record yourself and then turn it into something like this. So I'm not gonna show my original dancing video, but okay, but this is me dancing as pixel art. Okay, very strange dance. Okay, this is the ones from Move. Oh yeah, standard character, robot character, Android character from MoveOne. So that's me dancing. So my motion is original. So even though it's a funny dance, you can sync this into music, dance music, and yeah. So you can output all this USDC or FBX, and then you can just bring it into Blender. With Blender, you can get the animation, armature animations, and you can replace this into any character. That's something that we might try. I think the link, I haven't tried with multiple character with the MoveOne, but so far the body performance seems fine. The foot is on the floor properly. I can show you the whole thing in a bit. Wow, this is long. So maybe, yeah, maybe render 200 frames anyway. So this is the dance. So save this. Robo. MoveOne. Robo. I actually did a jump. It's still, the feet looks really good. It captured really well. The fingers and the hands might be captured as well, but so far it seems like it's kind of static. Anyhow, let's say, so we can reframe this. Shift A, create camera view, camera align, active camera to view. If we want to synth this, we can use EV, render this 512, 678. That's the size that Stable Diffusion like. This character is a robot, but we can turn this into anything else. If it's a human character, of course, with expression, that's a different matter. So let's try render this from 250 to 500. Oh, okay, 250. It's gonna look like this, or actually with the light. I think that should be okay. Make sure we capture all the performance. Okay. Render this out on the desktop. New folder, Robo MoveOne. Set render animations. And how is Mutsuki going? Yeah, at this stage, I mean, this feels very much like it's not exactly what I want to think. It might become a little bit too much like a TikTok filter, so it's not exactly like the character that I want to try. You can try. I will try Never Ending Dream. Maybe I can replace this robot fox anthropomorphic. try again. I will use my own dance in a bit. You can try using different model. Oh yeah, the strings, I think I reduced the string too much, so it's closer to the character, but we are losing the infusion. That's why. Okay, now I understand. Still gonna load it. So there will always be like a processing time. You can leave this overnight or leave it for an hour or two, sometimes longer. Yeah, stop this. This is too low, but you can change the percentage. Try again, render. I should use less frame, but let's check our, that's me. I'm trying with the hands. So we have our robot character dancing. I will do a full render maybe. Normally this vertical format, you can also use landscape, but for a dance performance, this is a good portrait mode is a good setup. Put some music, make some kind of robot dance, and you get a performance. You actually get a content. In the future, this might become like a real time. You can actually say put Michael Jackson here. Did I use Robot Fox? Yeah, it's gonna try to recreate Robot Fox. I think robot. Okay, let's try our own performance here. It's gonna be X, new folder, input, actually this one, just drag and drop that thing, you know, just copy this. Let's try now. Michael Jackson. Presets, sequence render. So hopefully now this can perform faster. In the meantime, so let's see. Our robot here is a generic robot, right? But we can infuse. You can of course rig your own 3D characters or make it like an abstract looking character. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna render this. So we don't really get Michael Jackson here. I believe these strengths need to be higher. So I'm just testing using this image and then hit generate. We can say Iron Man, things like that, or like a RoboCop. Okay, it's not really creating Michael Jackson. can say Robocop. Devil Robocop. Devil Robocop. Okay, we're not gonna. We don't use this one. We're gonna use the original. So sequence render once again. So in order to have a character that's more interesting, you need to make sure you have the right text prompt here. This is the negative prompt, this is the positive prompt, and you pick the right model, and then the LoRa is still gonna be using LCM Stable Diffusion 1.5, ControlNet Canny, pose, and just render. I think it's gonna be using the same seed. I don't know if the seed is gonna be different on each generation, but I think it's using the same seed depending on the script. So it's gonna run. So I think you can actually do this on M1 machine. So any Mac machine, M1, M2 chip, or M3, the latest one, you can actually do this at the Apple Store yourself, which is kind of interesting. If you have like a Blender at the Apple Store, and you need this app, DrawThings app, which is also free, but you probably need to install it. You can install Blender at the Apple Store, but other app might be, you need to install it differently. But it's possible to create this dance performance at the Apple Store. Okay, we have something. Not exactly the most interesting. Let's try deliberate. Futuristic Robocop. Japan Shinjuku Urban City. Sampling is set to 4. Text guidance maybe is less. You can increase the step to 8, 6. Let's high resolution 6. Let's see how it looks. Inside abandoned buildings, cyberpunk. LoRa, you can have all kind of LoRa that's been trained. Maybe just doing that one. Generate. See, inside an abandoned building. Yeah. And I just need to hit render. If I use different one, like for example, SSD 1B, this one needs to be SSD 1B. I believe this might give something that's a little bit more interesting. It's slightly more realistic because it's using the SDXL model. Okay. At first, at 100% you get nothing because you don't have control net, but you just reduce this a little bit and generate. Okay, it crashes. Maybe because I'm running Blender as well. But let's try this. Generate. Oh, it's probably SSD 1B as LCM SSD. At 100%, it's just gonna generate a new whatever, but like this, strength make it around 50%, generate, hopefully, yeah, hopefully we get our robot. Right, so make this around 60% and sequence render once again. So preset script is in JavaScript. Okay, this one runs really, really fast. I don't know why. No, Blender is rendering as well. So the fact that it runs very, very fast is pretty incredible. So I get a lot of files here because it. So unlike if you're using Stable Diffusion 1.5 with pose and control net and canny, we're gonna get something that's a little bit more consistent. If you are just using the 50%, 60%, or like 80% some things, it won't be as great, but you get something that's more like kind of like a noise truffle. So it's best to make this around 52%, like that, and then run this again. Hopefully it doesn't crash. So the character will more closely resemble this RoboCop character. If you say in monkey in armor, so you need some kind of imaginative prompt. Sequence render once again. This one is faster than 1.5. Don't know why. You can actually have a more abstract prompt. Now it's starting to get more interesting, I think. Stop that. Increase the strength a little bit so it's more interesting. Sequence render. So like I said, you can of course install your own Comfy UI, set a webcam, runs like a LoRa that does this similar thing. But the Draw Things app, this app kind of runs on iPad as well, so it's just like an app, so you don't need to do like install with GitHub, whatever. You can use Pinocchio, by the way, app called Pinocchio, and then you can set up like a custom. You can customize everything, maybe using webcam, real time. That actually, like if you're dancing in front of a camera and then you really want some kind of real time performance. Maybe eventually we can have that. It depends on your machine power. So let's stop that. This is actually quite interesting, the neons. I'm just gonna come back to this one, realistic vision. Toon anime, let me try. I think Roboetics, this one might be interesting. Dancing monkey. Turn off high resolution fix. And try this. Roboetics model, LoRa. Okay, increase this. Sometimes I just make it 100% with Okay, let's see. Godzilla. I don't know, just make it 100%. So it's no longer image to image, it's become text to image. So we just rely on the prompt. We rely on the prompt and also on the, okay, I forgot. We are also using ControlNet Canny Edge. I can reduce this Canny Edge. So it's no longer gonna be like a robot all the time. So there's a lot of control here, that lots of options that might kind of be hidden unless you've been doing this for a year. I've been doing this more than a year. So there's a lot of option here underneath. Anyway, you still keep getting the monkey. It's not the monkey, I mean like some kind of robot. Maybe this thing. Let me remove that and then reduce this. I have a feeling this LoRa LCM is fast, really fast, but it doesn't always give you the text prompt, okay? You might need to play around with the settings until you get what you want. Otherwise, you're just gonna end up something that's close to the original. It's not really like a monkey reptile creature monster. This should be like that. Maybe I don't need the canny, just use the pose. Maybe even removing the LoRa here. If I remove the LoRa, it's gonna be slower. However, the result will look more like your prompt, and then we can still run it as a batch. Yeah, it's starting to get a little more interesting. We get the monkey. Phew. Yeah, we get the monkey at 100%. This looks low resolutions because we didn't use. Oh, we did use high resolution fixed. I have a feeling we need to increase the sampling number from 4. Text guidance, maybe I need to increase this and increase the step. It's still pretty fast. I will try to do this properly. Anyhow, that's pretty much the process. This still a kind of experimental, trying to infuse. So you have your original dance performance with a character, 3D character. You can render it from Blender or just use on your own video, and we can infuse. We can make like Synthography AI art that's based on the prompt, and then run it as a batch. So you can create interesting result, hopefully. So if you check the result under pictures, output image, you're gonna have a dance performance of some sort. The monkey one is kind of interesting. Maybe try that. You can always use all kind of LoRa. Very Ayanami. Let's use this tech punk wearable. This one, increase that. Okay, I'll just do a render and finish this. Maybe make more higher resolutions. But that's pretty much the setup. Hopefully you find this useful. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.